Oh boy, we've got a lot of 2K26 news and I'm not going to waste y'all's time, so drop a like and let's get right into it. So, a lot of people were wondering, why does 2K26 have the same badge system, and 2K actually answered it. They said after evaluating how the badge system played out in 2K25, we felt like it hit the mark. The streamlined setup with 40 total badges gave each one real impact on the court, and we received a lot of positive feedback throughout the year. That badge system is returning in 2K26. We are doubling down on something that works rather than changing just for the sake of change, which doesn't always lead to the best outcomes for the health of the game, which is what I told you guys actually is what they might be doing. Our focus in 2K26 is on improving the systems that interact with badges, like adding more depth to the My Player builder than ever before and putting a renewed emphasis on skill-based gameplay. You can look forward to features like Max Plus 2s and new badge perks that boost your badges beyond their max potential, and the custom takeover reward, which lets you design your own takeover from scratch. We've also introduced new ways to improve your builds over time through build specialization and more impactful cap breakers. The result is more freedom than ever to make each build unique and continue evolving them as you play throughout the year. All right, you guys let me know what you think about that. I literally guessed it. Now, are they telling the truth? We don't know, but my guess was they're keeping the same badge system. They're trying to polish it, tune it, fine tune it, whatever you want to say, and make sure that it fits perfectly with the gameplay. I'm not mad about them keeping the same badges if they really did do this and made the gameplay more balanced, more skill-based, like they say they're trying to do on 2K26, instead of just adding random badges that just, you know, could break the gameplay, right? So we will see. All right, we're not there yet, but we have, are there changes to how attributes tie into one another? This one's huge. Yes, we've made optimizations to ensure the builder is balanced. Some of the more notable changes are that your speed with ball potential cannot be higher than your speed potential, and raising your close shot potential will also raise your driving layup potential. So, there is going to be more tethering in 2K26. Some people don't know what tethering is. It's just where you upgrade an attribute and it makes you upgrade another attribute because it just makes sense. Like, no one in the NBA, you know, is going to have 99 speed and not have ball handle or something like that, or speed with ball, right? So like, you need to have both at once. It balances out the builder to where you can't make super demigods, right? So hopefully that is addressing more LT, hindering the LT cheese this year, having to, I mean, you guys have seen the builds they make, the LT cheese guys. It's crazy. They got no ball handle, low speed with all that type of stuff, just the stats they need to cheese. But anyway, this one's pretty interesting. Cleaner said, can we get a full court option in my court? This is the best way to learn your moves. And a 2K employee, Michael Mainzer, said that this year you'll just shoot on one hoop, so you can practice your moving dribble moves more easily in my court. No more camera flipping at half court. So they really seem to care about the dribbling this year from what we're seeing. You know, more fluidity, more combinations that you can do, faster gameplay. You can actually lab up your moves coming up and down the court. But this is pretty interesting as well from Joey 2K. This isn't news from a 2K developer or anything like that, but I think this is pretty important to look at, where we know the gameplay is going to be 10% faster in 2K26. So what he did was he gave us a side-by-side of the projected game speed by turning up the sliders from 50 game speed to 55, because that's a 10% boost, and giving us a side-by-side. This is what it looks like. Okay, so you are going to be moving faster in 2K26. We know that 100%. Also, the game mechanics, the dribble moves, all that type of stuff, you know, that's going to change it as well. So that's not a direct look of how it's going to look side by side, but it's a guess, right? You're going off the sliders in 2K25. Now, here is SGA with Legend Lightning Launch, okay? Potential 10% plus faster game speed that we're supposed to see. So the reason why he's doing that is because you will probably be able to get Legend Lightning Launch on a 6'6" in 2K26. This is what it looks like. So this is 10% faster gameplay, and then your Legend Lightning Launch. It's not like you're flying up and down the court, but you see a lot more fluidity. It doesn't look as slow, and it just looks better. I think that most people can agree that 2K25's gameplay was a bit slow. All right, I don't know. Some people are saying even higher game speed. Like Mike Wing should do 15% higher. I think 10 is a good starting spot, and maybe change it as we go on, like a month in, 2 months in. You know, that's not something that's going to ruin people's builds or anything like that. So I'm okay with being open-minded to the game speed possibly changing. But Mike Wing might be set in stone on this 10% change. Anyway, if you target just one attribute with your custom takeover, will the attribute boost be bigger? The less attributes you target, the bigger the boost will be. You can target up to 3 attributes with each custom takeover. So the custom takeover is going to be huge this year. We know that you can't move up your physicals, but that's just so far answered through the custom takeover. However, they did say that they cut the takeovers in general in, I think it was like in half. So it's from like 22 to 11 on 2K26. So maybe they took out every takeover that gives you physicals as well. I'm going to miss my slice takeover, man. Speed and agility. It was such a great takeover for me for my LT stopper builds and all that stuff. But look, we got another one. Are the attribute requirements to select each build specialization the same for all builds? The attribute requirements for each of the 5 build specializations remains the same no matter what build you make. Remember, you can choose one specialty per save file. So I went through today, and if you watch the builder reveal, it was like a split second where you can see it was like the 3rd and the 4th goal. And I wanted to just check to see what it was. Is there a cap breaker there? Is there a max +1? And there was not. So unless there is on level 1 and 2, which I highly doubt the first 2 give you anything, you get 2 cap breakers towards that goal. So if you do a defensive specialization, you're going to get 2 cap breakers. You get a max +1 and a max +2. Now, we still don't know where the other ones come from. There's still 2 more max +2s, 2 more max +1s. So we will have to see. But I really think those are going to be in the season pass. At least 1 max +1 and 1 max +2. Probably a cap breaker as well. And it needs to be talked about how that's going to be even more paid to win this year. So I want to go ahead and just say that, you know, a lot of people are going to buy straight to level 40 so they can have that instead of it resetting in the season and you have to wait. Now, some of the max +2s, like the build specialization, you will be able to carry over. And I think we're about to answer that pretty soon. So let's just get into it. Are the max +2 badge perks earned from build specialization permanent? Yes, they are permanent on your account once earned and can be used on any save if the build specialization path selected has already progressed to earn the max plus reward. So they've already told us that if you do the shooting build specialization on one build and then you activate it on another one, it will already have it completed. And now we know it's not going to be like the season pass where it resets. However, that doesn't mean none of them reset, right? They're probably going to have some in the season pass. If they have 2 max +2s in the season pass, guys, 2K26 is going to break so many microtransaction records like they already did this year, I believe, from looking at the earnings reports. It's going to be insane. You might be sitting there like, bro, there's no way people are buying to level 40 to get their max +2s. Yeah, they're definitely going. I know a lot of people that do it this year just for 1 max +1. So actually the max +1 and the max +2 that you get at like level 50, 20, whatever you get the max +1 at this year. I forgot. I haven't played 2K25 really in a minute. You guys know I kind of retire by like April, and I come back at the very end of the year to warm up a little bit for the next game. Anyway, Zach Timmerman, 2K employee, said, how mad do you think people would get if the game hated on your build? Like a 2-way basic or an unskilled Pine Rider. So we know in the last video, if you guys missed it, that there's going to be 4,200 build names in 2K26 from approximately 300 last year. And now Zach Timmerman is going even deeper in his bag and giving us some funny names as well. Because, you know, you can make very trash looking builds in this game, in any 2K. So that will be pretty cool to see and also funny to make. And even like when when people start hitting legend, like imagine a legend bench warmer, right? And it's actually turning into a good build with all the max +2s. Like you're going to be able to make crappy builds still good, most likely. So anyway, Double H gave some recommendations, and you see we have bench warmer, cardio warrior, job application, two-way VC waster, G League specialist, refundable wing. I mean, I think that we're going to see a lot of these in the game because Zach Timmerman made that tweet and he was adding some and then told us, hey, there's 4,200 builds right after. So, yeah. By the way, the gameplay you guys are watching, just real quick, is my 96 strength build I had last year, my bully guard. I loved this build, man. I really hope, and it's crazy just comparing 2K24 to 2K25, man. Like, the amount, like, this build was still able to dominate in rec, like a 96 strength bully guard. There was just so much more diversity that if you were good enough at the game, you could dominate. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope, like, just comparing the dribbling from 24 to 25 is a big difference, and that's saying a lot, bro. That really is saying a lot. So anyway, people noticed that in the build drop, you see Shifty Shooter no longer has an agility requirement. So keep that in mind when you're making a build in 2K26, that there is no requirement on your build. Also, Jers made us from the build drop, a contact dunk requirements. Elite is 96, Pro is 87, Small is 86, and then you see your verticals on the side. I believe those are for 2 foot. He didn't put that on there. I think they only showed 2 foot contact dunks. So yeah, anyway, guys, I just want to talk about 2K26 real quick and what we're seeing. Like I said, I hope that it just looks similar. I just hope it's the best game on next gen. I don't think that's going to be too hard to do. The best next gen game that 2K has made. And I hope it's just good enough to where my friends like Remedy and Raptor, you guys know that have been around for a long time, Six God, they want to play the game past September. That's really all I want. Just, you know, I want to chill with my friends and have a good time. So I hope that is what we are getting, and it kind of looks like that. You know, they're wanting to polish the game, but again, guys, I am not promoting the game. I am not telling you to buy it at your own risk, but hopefully that's what we get, man, is a polished product of 2K25 with better game speed, with more diversity, no RNG. That sounds good to me, but of course there's so much more we have to figure out before I can tell you the game's in a good spot, the game's not bad, you know, something like that. Okay, guys, so anyway, drop a like for me if you haven't yet, and click this video from yesterday to see that news, because it's big. A lot of news was dropped yesterday that you need to check out. Click or tap here, it'll take you to that video, and I'm out of here. Peace.